And I know that this isn't exactly right, but this is the ad. These are the two different ads that you're going to see at the top.
Okay, awesome.
And so the first one, this ad has always done really well in terms of converting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we talked about, the pain, but I just figured, let me just run this because I know this does well.
For sure.
So this is the first one.
Just scroll down a bit because it's weird how it. Yeah, exactly. Or just go
I can't scroll down anymore. So let me pull this up. There you go.
I bet you. Yeah, very nice job on the image. It pops. You know what I mean? Like it really does. Like whoa, like what's that? Orange, green, like really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then followed by I'm kind of split testing it right now with a video that I did, which honestly I thought was going to do worse. Mm-hmm. But it's doing better.
That's why sometimes you just gotta test it. It's so weird how people react to stuff.
So I put the words in the bottom, like you said.
Stuff, yeah, that looks great.
I'm not sure that this is actually the right video to be playing at this point, honestly.
Okay, tell me why you think that.
Because this is more driven at the sale of the unit, kind of. And like the problem would be, you see, like I'm throwing down the wires on the breadboard, and then let me show you a better way. Here's my Dr. Arduino thing. Mm-hmm. But at this layer, this is about how do you want to become an Arduino master? And I feel like those two messages are like not in sync, although it's converting well. So it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can have an even like better result. And you know what? I would say in time, because if there's some juice that you can squeeze out of it, again, we always look at our numbers to make those like, radical calls. Like sometimes certain things might just work for now, and then what the next step will be. Like once they stop converting or whatever, then you can easily say, okay, I'm ready to maybe tweak some stuff now that it kind of serve its purpose for its time, and now you can try some other stuff.
Okay, so then I'm gonna leave it for now, just because, like I said, it is converting. Here's the numbers on it right now.
Cost. Oh, interesting. Yeah. 1.42 versus 3 versus 6 versus 4. Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this one's converting really well. 14 leads. Mm-hmm. Relevancy score 7. So I'm going to let this run for another day, and then I'm going to start killing stuff.
Yeah, no, that looks good. Okay, yeah, so far so good.
So, okay, cool. So now that's the first part. And so when people come in here and they don't download, they're going to go into one of two buckets again. Yes. So the first bucket is people who visited but didn't download, and that's what I call my didn't download Arduino Master R1. That's really just stands for revision 1. I need to come up with better naming architectures, but for now this is going to do. Mm-hmm. And then people who interacted with the video but didn't necessarily go to the page. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. And then basically I'm wrapping around taking this audience.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, like didn't complete task, desired result. So you're always kind of like, looking at how you treat each time. It kind of splits into that, why in a way.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And then I'm taking that same exact audience from here. So I tried to color code it so brown into brown.
Yeah, that helped.
And I'm running the same exact creative. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah, you know what? Your creative will start to shift. Right, because like as we talked about before, the whole like lifetime value, or not lifetime value, like shelf life mm-hmm. of each ad, right? So for now, it might work really well, but you might need to, again, you never change the desired result. The desired result is the same, but you might change the angle or the video or the creative or the copy, like every now and then, according to how your numbers are performing. So for now, that looks completely fine, and you probably squeeze some good out of it, and then from there you can start to pivot a little bit, like be like, hey, maybe I'll give them a video that combines maybe a little bit of the Goonie box just to kind of like intrigue them, and maybe at the end I'll do like call to action or something, stuff like that.
Okay, so then that makes sense too. Mm-hmm. This third one again is pre-Facebook funnel, so this is like just a bunch of audiences which I'm only going to use for right now, just because I paid for them already, and I might as well try to squeeze some juice out of these guys. So this won't be like part of the new Facebook funnel. I'll turn this off eventually. So now here's what I'm calling dynamic leads. And this is, so I didn't want to do it where I'm like updating a list all the time. So basically I have my audience is set to whoever has downloaded the lead and then a lookalike based on that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, sorry. Not a lookalike. Just the people who downloaded the master PDF.
Yeah. So, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now,
are you tracking that by any chance, just to like actually see who downloads it and who just like, you know, just opted in but never actually read it?
No. I mean, I'm not sure how I would know that aside from just like in active campaign saying who clicked on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe. So I don't know.
One way you could do it is you literally set just like a super short page that just says, hey, just download it here, or like, hey, click here, but it actually takes them to a page where you can install the pixel and just create a custom audience that says,
oh, I see.
Like people that, yeah, because like one thing is getting it in the email, right? Because this is an automated, you have an email sequence, right? That like goes
Mm-hmm.
out. Yeah. So some people get it and they might be excited when they opted in, but then they never checked it, right? So you want to make sure that you can even track after, 30 days or whatever, like what's that ratio really of the people that actually go on and actually don't? Because one of my clients, what ended up happening was he needed to set a whole new, like almost like a follow-up campaign to be like, hey, did you actually read it? Like, did you download it? Here's the link again, and actually like kind of push them, because people are just forgetful, man. Like we live in like the most like ADD like era ever, because of technology. So everyone's like, oh, here's this, and then they go, and then all of a sudden like Bob just pops in like a little banner at the top of their screen or at the top of their phone, and they click and they're gone, and then they forget.
Right.
So yeah, I think
okay.
Just in time, again, just something that you can do, but again, not crucial at this point, because again, they're gonna see all your retargeting, which is the step, right? So, but just good, because again, sometimes you actually want them to read it, because that's what's gonna get them to get excited about buying it anyway, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind for sure. Okay, so this is what I'm calling the middle of the funnel, and this is where I started. I love that saying, by the way, create a content stack. Like that just makes a lot of sense.
I know, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I have three articles that are on my real website. And so one is a Gooniebox blog. So these,
just like quickly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to see them. Because now I'm kind of like picturing it, okay? Like I just, got one ad, maybe I didn't download it. I got the second ad. Great, I downloaded this time. That's it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was the one that didn't actually read it. I just got the email and said, oh, I'll read it later tonight. And then my wife told me, you got to wash the dishes, and like it's gone, like it happens, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So let's see what the retargeting is, because now it's like, okay, cool. I downloaded, I didn't read it, but let's see what's the next thing I see from you.
Post this one. Nope. Oh yeah, this is for reach. Just bear with me here.
Mm-hmm. No, and the way you're doing it is good. Like the first 1, 2, 3 times might be like, like going back, maybe, oh shoot, like a mistake and little things like that. But just like anything, just makes perfect.
So this was a little bit odd, because I ended up having 2 different creatives for mobile and desktop. I don't understand why it did it, but I ended up doing it for. So this is for desktop, I believe. Yeah, this is desktop.
Mm-hmm.
On mobile, it just showed the picture all wacky, and I don't know why.
So what can you do with it? Do we know? Alex, cool. That's part of further collector. On parking, that's really cool. Scroll down. Let me just see that creative.
And so this is actually when I was building, in the middle of the build.
Interesting. Huh. Very cool. How did you come up with it? Like, what was your like epiphany of like, I'm gonna do, like, how did you see it in your mind's eye,
Yeah, I'll show you actually real quick, because this, if you click on the link, it takes you here.
Okay.
This. So I love the game The Room from the Fireproof Games, and this is the first puzzle box of the game, and
so
I just love the concept of it, and I love the game, or the movie The Goonies. So I just kind of combined the two, and I made it more functional. I really need to beef this up because it's missing all sorts of stuff.
Do you tell that story in this blog?
Yeah, I touch on it, but I did this a long time ago, so I didn't really like flesh this out, because basically what this is really pointing to is, by the way, this is how I did it all, was with my board, and it's true.
Yeah, and it's true.
You know.
Yeah, because like I think this is like a great opportunity for a, you know, call it a branding ad. You know, I don't know if you. I think by now you get what I mean when I say a branded ad or a branded campaign versus a direct response campaign, sales campaign, right? So this one is like branding. This one is like, it just builds like, wow, this is really cool. And I think you can write it even harder. Like, you know, if you were to go back to it and, you know, dive a little deeper into the story, like, just because again, this ad, even though of course we want them to buy, we always want them to buy, this one is just mostly for just value and like authority, etc.
Okay, so that's where that takes you. Oh, yeah, this is the inside. This thing was crazy.
Really cool.
This is crazy. Even for me, this was crazy.
So it would have been like stupidly hard to do it with the breadboard, eh?
It would have been impossible.
Oh man, yeah. Like I can just see, like, if this already looks complex, like as it, I can't even imagine trying to connect all the different wires and then trying to test it too.
Oh yeah, it would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, because I think that, again, like that's a big pain point. It's like, guys, if you have a dream of doing something really, really cool, it could be a Goonie box, or it could be anything in your mind. Like, there's just no way that you can do it with the other one.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so that's that. And then at this point, I haven't gotten too much further with posting with the other pieces of content, but what they will see, the other ads that I'm pointing to is this one. So this is a buddy of mine who actually made his own PCB making machine. So I'm pointing them at that one. And this is really good for people who, you know, are interested in building their own stuff, but don't want to wait weeks for it. So you can build it out of your garage.
Yeah, those DIY stuff is gold.
Yeah. And then the other one that I'm using,
that both of their blog posts, they have the link to obviously perform the next action at the bottom, but I think that you should put them at the top, like before the fold, just a little, like, even parentheses that just says something like, hey, by the way, if you want to, you know, learn more about it, or go check out, you know, just go here or whatever. Just something, you know, basically a place where you put your link near the top of the blog.
Okay, so up here.
Yes, like within that first paragraph, whether you want to do it before that paragraph or in between or something, but definitely I would say below the fold, because again, like in a perfect world, people will be like, yeah, you know, I obviously clicked on this link because I want to read it, and they wouldn't finish reading the whole thing. But, you know, people click it and then they kind of scan, kind of read, kind of, you know, and it's just having more opportunities where they don't miss the link.
Right.
You know, it just helps boost conversions, like always.
And the link should point to my funnel, or the link should point to, like, you can get it here?
What do you, like the sales page would be, like the next call to action, right?
Well, because this is my actual site where you can buy it, right? And here, if you buy it on this page, which this is lunacy to me, but people do this, they'll buy it for $65 here, but I'm selling it on my ClickFunnels for $49, right? So I don't necessarily want them to, like, it would be way better for them to buy it through my ClickFunnels, but you know what I'm saying? So it's a little weird.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so here's how you can get around it. Actually, it's not that hard. When you go into the top section where you're gonna write this, you can say, hey, listen, like, it normally costs like more if you get into my website, but because, you know, you clicked on this, or because you're reading this page, like, I actually have a private link, or like a secret link, or whatever you want to call it. Go here, and then you send them to your funnel. Then they already feel like it's a deal, and you're not lying, because it's $64.99 here. They can go and see it for themselves, and they can feel like, wow, cool, like I just got hooked up.
But then how do I, because all of these blogs, these are like public facing. right?
Yeah, and that's okay, because there's a difference between like, going into like just the homepage and being like retargeted from an ad, because you're mostly getting, I'm saying, like traffic from an audience that has performed a certain action. Like obviously, yes, you will have some organic traffic. I mean, I don't know how much traffic you get. I mean, let me ask that first. Are you getting like hundreds and hundreds of people like daily, like to like look at these blogs?
Organically, no.
Okay. So most of the traffic,
Yeah.
I mean, like comes from just your retargeting. So it would be people that are just waiting for a next excuse or a next opportunity to say, okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe now that you are giving me a discount, like maybe I'll go check it out.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. Just a quick question: we are recording this, right? Because
Yes.
This awesome, because there's lots of good stuff that we've touched on, which I'm not going to remember.
Oh no, definitely no, and it helps me because I can review and like assess certain things too by rewatching it. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Okay,
but looks good though. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so far we're good, right? Cool.
Yes.
Now this is where I got a little bit tripped up.
Okay.
Because I presume I should also be retargeting those people who didn't see the ad, like that they didn't click on it, that they didn't actually go to my website. Because when you go to the website, what happens is I've got the pixel. So let's just take Gooniebox for example.
Yeah.
Is it going to show? Yeah. So I've got a view content firing here, and the content name of Gooniebox. So I can track it. I know that they've actually visited here. So should I be retargeting them?
Just to everyone that basically came to this page and didn't go into the next step. Is that what you're saying?
No, people who like people who looked at the ad and either
I see, that consumed the video basically, but didn't click on the link.
Right.
So basically, it's just someone that engaged, right, with like your ad, but they didn't actually click.
Right.
Oh, okay. So go back to your map.
I mean, and I didn't even put in here like didn't mess with the video. I'm saying like didn't go to the blog.
Because you know how we talked about actually, if you want to go back to that Excel, actually the one that you were saying you helped you, because one of the other audiences or sub audiences that sometimes is done is the deep engagers, or like the engagers. Like the engagers is like its own bucket of it, which is basically people that that like look at the content, but like on Facebook, but without leaving the actual platform of Facebook, right? Or they just maybe consume without actually performing the sales page or going to that page. And so, if you treat them differently, maybe that audience is the one that becomes, the laggers, if you want to call them, the ones that might not buy today, but they will buy in like 90 days type of thing, So, I mean, I don't think is necessary right now because, of course, you can always set like retargeting campaigns for every single action if you wanted, like engaging, like click on the other page but didn't buy. Like there's so many variations, of course. But I think that at this point, that pool of people might not be as relevant for us to go after. Like we want the ones that are like showing the most intent. Maybe every now and then, maybe every 14 days or every month, you set up like its own campaign for everyone that matched that specifically. But I think it should be as an option, not so much as a part of this map.
Okay, so let me just change this to optional. Okay, because your point is that they're not very engaged at this particular moment, so it's not so important to retarget them and waste the money at that. That makes sense.
Yeah, because if they just kind of gave a like or they watched the video, but at this point they're getting retargeted, right? So if they don't actually click on the link, like it tells me one or two things about them. Either one, they didn't read carefully and they even forgot to click the link at all, which is just kind of like, oh, come on, guys, or B, it's like they just not ready right now. They're not as interested. So they might just be a little just like, okay, cool. Like, and they just keep scrolling. So in either way, I just don't think there's enough intent and might not even be worth investing like a lot of resources right off the bat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in early stages of advertising. Yeah, later on, I guess that's like a more squeezing of the juice, right?
Exactly. Because all this is happening inside the middle of funnel, right? So you could at some point just decide to do another small retargeting and just say, hey, I'll target everyone in the middle of the funnel that like that did all of the, you know, just like watch the video, etc., but didn't look at either the Goonie box or the STEM class on the live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like after they've seen like some of those ads, if they still haven't even clicked, you know, like clicks shows intent, you know, time spent on a page shows intent, but just a like or a quick comment, like bashing something or saying something, it might not necessarily.
I guess that's what's important is that if there's a deep intent, and a deep intent would mean that they actually went to the site and consumed. Okay, so I get that. So then this loop is really not as important.
No.
Early. Okay. Totally cool.
That's why I said like maybe like once a month you prepare like its own thing with like maybe the best campaign out of this whole thing, like with a different angle or something, you know, just to be like, hey, let's see, like last push, like another like opportunity, you know, for everyone that either you know didn't read it because they don't read thoroughly and they have ADD, or for people that just didn't perform the action you desired.
Right. Okay. Okay, so then these are the people who actually viewed the content, so they clicked.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So everyone that visited the page, basically.
Yeah.
If any of the videos. Which of the three do you think will do the best? The Goonie box?
To be perfectly honest, there's actually another one which I think will do the best. Actually, I know it will do the best. However, it's actually one of the Trey Llewellyn things. It's where you use the Amazon link.
Yes.
And if they do, they could actually end up buying a different kit, and I don't want them to do that. So I'm not pushing that one until after they buy. After they buy my kit, then I'll push that. I
see. Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah. So I think the ones that will touch people the most are these three. Out of them, you know, it's probably a toss-up between the Goonie box and I teach a STEM class to some kids. I think those two. The last one is just kind of like this. I'll show you real quick. This was a project that I did as my first.
Yeah, show me. Yeah, because I was going to ask you right after you show me this one, what do you think is the main difference between those two, or what do you think it accomplishes with each angle, you know, with each, you know, because I think that's important to kind of establish.
Yeah, so a lot of my customers, they actually want to teach, you know, whether it's a full out class or it's I teach their grandchildren or whatever. So this is a class that I teach to these three kids here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they've been with me for 4 years. It's crazy.
Oh wow, man, that's awesome. Good job, man. You're a good teacher, man. They've been with you for a long time. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've been trying to teach them like where the rubber meets the road. So this project was one where we printed out their initials in plastic. This is my machine that I have at home. It's my 3D printer. Here's what it looks like, and then I taught them how to make their own boards, which holds the light. Here's the craziness. And then this was like
really cool.
kind of a middle test, and you can control it via Bluetooth. And what they really liked was this. So it kind of gets lost.
Wow, that's cool. No, it's awesome. Yeah, it's very just like real, you know. That's why. That's awesome. Yeah. I like this one too. No, but that's fantastic because you're literally, just by seeing this page, I got clarity. One is for creators. Another one is for teachers.
Yes, exactly.
It's perfect because that's pretty much where your audience splits. You know, people that want to do this, they either want to do it to create, impart, you know, pass on to someone, or they want it for themselves to just create and ideate and whatever else and become. Yeah.
That's a good point, actually, because maybe I should make an ad which talks about the creation and then the teaching part. You're right. I haven't made the ad for this one yet, so I'm going to take that angle.
Yeah.
And then the last one is this one up here. And actually, maybe I thought I was doing this one. Maybe not. I may not be doing this one. This one for sure. So this is my very first project that I ever built. Actually, there was one slightly before this, but
what?
this is nuts.
Let's see.
So that
that's cool.
So this is before Arduino was like a thing.
Yeah. Wow. It's cool, man. You've been both, you know, like you've been blessed with both. Like, you know, you're a creator and a teacher. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. And so this whole diorama, like,
that's fantastic, man. That's a great video. That alone could be a like value retargeting app for people that maybe, you know, consume some of the other pieces, because it's just really cool. It's like mind blowing, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a cute piece. Like, so this whole thing was just supposed
hey, with Christmas coming up, you should put this video like in like a meme style with like a red and green, and be like, hey guys, you know, now that Christmas is around the corner, you wanna make sure you can do your own
stuff,
props, man. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so this is that one, and now.
Yeah, good job on creating, on like selecting those three specifically. I think that's a nice balance between, like the creator, the teacher, and just kind of like a wow.
Like
cool
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's this, and now this is the bottom of the funnel. Oh, wait. There's a really important piece I want to know here. Okay, this here, I'm optimizing, at least for now, for reach, right? As compared to for purchase. I think I understand that at some point, like when this bucket becomes really big, you know, that you just go straight for purchase at this phase, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then you could even set a second blue box, literally like underneath the one that says add creative content stack, and call it, like if you want to even just duplicate it, like put it down. Because what you can do is just take even some of the creative or the video or whatever, like out of the other ones, because they've already kind of seen some stuff, you know, and you can literally just duplicate the copy or type in a new copy and then just send them, like optimize for purchase. Yeah.
Oh, and then optimize this one for purchase. Okay, so you could actually run it concurrently.
You could run it concurrently for sure, and Facebook will do its magic on like the ones that are just kind of consuming, and then Facebook might show it a second time to the same person, but now optimized for purchase, because some, you know, black magic, they know they're ready to buy. You know? Yeah, it's weird.
All right, now how would I? Just think, I guess because the creative or some portion of this is different than this, it's not going to be it won't appear to be the same ad to the person. So it's not as if you're going to be showing them the same exact thing twice.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're more than anything just like sticking with the angle. Like it would just be like the one ad for like more like creators, you know, and then the one ad more for like teachers, you know, and then with copy on each one, and you know, boom.
Gotcha. And now should I be doing that inside the same? Should I be doing those two things within the same ad set? Like, so this one I'm going for reach, right? Should I then have another one, like just duplicate this right here and just optimize for purchases?
Yeah.
Or a separate campaign?
Well, I think for sake of clarity, another campaign would be easier. Yeah. Okay. Just because again, like it can get messy, right? So it's cool if you can just like switch off campaigns instead of having to always go into each layer and like review the names, and just like it's more time effective.
So let me just write this down. Change, and then I'll tidy it up later. Change creative slightly, but optimize purchase. With reach. Okay.
And you could even test split testing. I'm just going out a little crazy, but you could even test in not even just sending them to the blog, but just retargeting the people that do land in the blog with just a straight to the sales page. Basically, what you're gonna do in the next step that we're about to talk about on bottom.
Yep.
you could start it in this middle one.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, because this is still using the same creative, but you're kind of pre-priming them for...
Exactly. Yeah,
okay, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a good word, sorry. Yeah, pre-priming, exactly.
Okay, cool. And now this one, optimizing for the purchase, right? You're just going right for the jugular, because at this point they've been with you throughout this whole mess.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. $20 blog stem. Yeah, like before. Yeah. Because I think your angles are pretty solid. I think you know the audience well, so you can just start to rotate creative as you see fit, as like you see results and optimization, and then just more play with like, okay, I'm gonna put it on this like purchase ad, or I'm gonna put it on this reach one, because now you're starting to shift and be more malleable, more flexible in the approach,
Okay. And now again, for the people who visited and didn't buy,
exactly.
I would do a reach and then also another purchase campaign.
You know what? For people that don't buy, I just like to set one more ad usually for a just straight to purchase for a retarget. But that's it, because I think that reach, I mean, yes, you can definitely do reach and you can do both, like same deal, right? Like you can do another reach and purchase at the same time. But I just think that that people that don't do the action after that one retarget should just go into just like a long time nurturing campaign, one where they may just get your blogs every now and then, or they just the email list, or your Facebook page post or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because like I think again, like if someone went through like with you throughout this whole journey, went to the page, still didn't buy, they get retargeted, so they still don't buy, then it's like, what, maybe you're just not ready right now, and that's okay. You'll go into like a nurturing, like, background process. I don't think it's needed necessarily to do both the reach and the purchase for retarget. You can just do one.
So this one, they're really only, the frequency is going to be one, so the person's only going to see this once. Mm-hmm. And you think that's okay, right?
Yeah, and then whoever goes to the page but doesn't buy, then you can have a second ad. Like basically go up to the first step, to the first top of the funnel. Yeah. Yeah. So you see how you have like two ads there that are basically doing both the initial ad and the retarget ad, right? Like with the blue box and the brown.
This one?
Yeah, like the first two boxes that you have there. Yeah, top of the funnel and retarget non-PDF download.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you could do the same thing where like you have two ads that serve the same purpose, to retarget the people that went to the sales page but didn't buy, and also to push the people that just engage or whatever at the middle step. Like you can do it like two ads.
I'm confused because that's what this is.
Hold on, let me see. Retarget visitor.
Core offer, but didn't buy.
What's the ad for that one? Are you having a second different ad, or what was the ad? So the creative of it? Yeah, I think that's where I got
the creative of it. This was where I was going to be making those videos on the different like uses of the Dr. Duino. Mm-hmm. Right now, what I'm using is the stuff that was working before. Let me show you what that is. And this is what I call like the hard sell. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Actually, this is not the one. This is not. Why am I using that one? That's stupid. Oh, I always do this. Yeah, I'm using that one because.
Did you duplicate it right now, or no?
No.
It looked like you duplicated it by accident. I just want to make sure you didn't.
Purchases. Like this one, for example. This one converts really well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. 42% up plus free shipping. Yeah, it's like the strong call to action right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I actually I don't know why I did the other one. I have to rethink that one. Mm-hmm. So maybe I should just be driving this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. When you say converts really well, like what do you What do you mean? What metric are you specifically looking at?
Oh, well, this is where it gets weird because this is when, like the ads would continually die on me. But if they weren't dying, like when they weren't dying, the ROAS was, I'd say, between 3x and 5x. But then of course when it dies, then you start to lose. What am I doing? Yeah. So here's one.
Yeah.
Here's another one. But then you see like things start to die on you, and now you're losing money.
Yeah. And that's why I think having a nice, healthy selection of let's call it the purchase content stack, right? Where you'll have the different angles or the different uses, like you said, but it might not stop there. Like you might have more. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure we were clear on like the one ad that they're gonna see first, and then the ad that just serves like as a retargeting. Because again, we want to give people. When I find that like throughout this process, I think always you have to be asking yourself where that sweet spot is between like being fair and giving them like the right amount of opportunities to buy without crossing the line of being like annoying or like pestering them or like pushing too hard, because sometimes is that they just, again, like you caught them in the line of Walmart, they don't have their credit card, they maybe saved the post, they forgot, done. Yeah, of course they need a second option, maybe even a third option, but also without being like, again, like, too much in their face when like, okay, maybe they're just not ready. You got to send them to that nurturing pool that we talked about long term.
Okay, so then again, this is really. But this should then be also optimized again for purchase.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, because I think at this point, again, just anything that's more reach to build the branding, to build value. I think that was the last step mostly. Like if they've already performed, the last action, which is go to the sales page throughout this process, they still don't buy. I think they should just still be optimized for purchase. But as I say that, I also know that split testing is the best way. Sometimes just doing a very simple, like optimizing for, video views, optimizing for just something that's like cheap, but they just might need to see it again, might also work. Okay. But it really depends. That call, it's hard to tell unless I see the creative. Because some videos might be like, dude, like that's a sick video. Just do, optimize for video views, like forget purchase for now. Other ones might be like, hey, do purchase and optimize for like a 7-day click. Because obviously they already clicked it once the first time, that it's optimized for like 1-day click.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't messed really with the 7-day, 1-day click stuff. I know that you said, for leads, just do a 1 day and then for retargeting do 7. I just always leave it as 7-day, whatever the standard is. I've just been leaving it at that.
And that's okay. Again, the only step that I would like start messing more with that, it's in, let's say someone just go up just to get a little bit of context. Let's just say that someone is in that desired result, one of the collection bucket, 1, 2, or 3, they clicked on one of those. Great. So then they get retarget, go down now. They get retarget with that one ad, middle of the funnel, optimize for purchase. Great. They click on that. They go to the sales page. They still don't buy. So their retarget, the brown bucket where they didn't complete the task, would be now optimized for a 7-day click.
Gotcha.
Now it's like, okay, interesting. You've already performed certain actions, but you still didn't buy. Okay, so now let's try a little bit of an optimization difference, or as I was saying, maybe a video views if your video is really good, or a reach ad if maybe your copy is on fire. When your copy is really good, reach works really well. By the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just Facebook just does an amazing job at putting it in the eyes of a lot of people for a very cheap cost, because Facebook just knows your copy draws them. Like a lot of people are like spending time, and that helps Facebook too, because the longer they can spend and keep people in the platform, the happier Facebook is, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that last call between video views or reach or 7-day click or whatever else for your target, I think will really be predicated on the creative, meaning copy, image, video.
Right. Okay. Let me just flip a quick.
Yeah.
All right. So it can be purchase, reach, video views will depend on how good copy is. Test.
I love what Trey said in the conference where he was like, your job is to always like beat control.
Right.
Where like you have kind of like something that you're like, okay, this works, cool. I'm getting 3%, 4% conversion. Okay, cool. Now let's see if we can beat that. I'm kind of becoming that almost like detective to see what you have to find to now be like, oh, 5%, 6%, and
right.
And keep playing that game essentially.
And just keep, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Over time, I think you will develop like a second Excel where you're just putting like all the winner ads, like the MVPs of the season or of the year, because what will end up happening is you'll start seeing very interesting patterns of like, oh, like all the ads where like I use this kind of copy or like this kind of imagery or this kind of video tend to do well, and then you'll just keep refining. It's just a way of like getting all the 10 different ads that you've ran and selecting like the top 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just over time, just a note.
Right. Let me just point back to this real quick. So the ones that I did do reach, I wasn't exactly sure. I'm just going to spawn up one.
Mm-hmm.
Reach. Come on. Where was it? Yeah, this. So I did 4. I don't know if I don't really know what to make of that.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that. So this goes back to that principle we spoke about. I don't know if you remember the mere exposure effect.
Vaguely.
Okay, so the mere exposure effect is like a psychological principle that essentially says that the more often you're exposed to something, this could be a person, this could be whatever,
right.
Yeah, the more that you'll develop like this likability, right? So the secret of the frequency cap, it really is just getting to know your audience really well, because depending on the niche and who you're targeting, it will vary. Marketers like myself that are like in the computer all day, we need to see the freaking thing like all day, every day for us to take action, because we're so like unsensitized to like advertising.
Mm-hmm.
You need to really see someone like a lot before you're actually like, okay, I think I trust this guy. Let me actually subscribe to his list, or let me actually buy his product. Like it takes longer. Whereas other ones where maybe there's people that are not very tech oriented, or not very, like Facebook, or like they don't live in social media, they might get away with less. So the key is to find that balance and that like sweet spot. So like every day, like every 1 day or every 2 days that you would tell them like, listen, like I want you to show the ad this many times in this amount of days. So, for example, for your audience, I would say even just looking at it, like 3 to 4 times every 7 days. I would say even more, even like 5, I think will be good, because again, they might see like 2 times that 1 day that they almost buy, and then and then they don't see it tomorrow. Then they see it again, like Sunday or whatever, and then they're like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me check it out.
Okay, so I didn't realize that's what it meant. So it's really just showing them once every day for 4 days out of 7, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that meant showing 4 times a day for 7 days.
No, exactly. That's like 4 in the 7-day period.
Yeah.
Yeah, how Facebook actually delivers it, we won't know. unless you literally type one impression every one day. I don't even know if it still allows you to do that. Basically just to say like daily or two times a day, you know?
I mean, what if you just did 7, 7, and 7?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that should work too. Yeah, 7 impressions every 7 days. Yeah. Again, Facebook might deliver like 2, 2, 0, you know, 2, 1, right? Like it might not be like 1 every day specifically, because again, like it's, like I've seen ads like 3 times the same freaking ad in one day. And I was like, wow, this guy's everywhere. Like I saw him. Well, yeah, like Scott, like my boy Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw him, like, I remember because I was counting them. I was seeing like, what's his frequency? I was like reverse engineering him. and I looked and he was like, oh man, interesting. Yeah, I saw him like 2 times on Facebook and then like once on Instagram, because he was running like Instagram too. And I think there was one day where I saw him like 1 on Instagram, 1 on Facebook, 1 on like the side panel, like the sidebar, you know, the side placement on Facebook. So just little things like that, where again, like the intention is just to like position yourself in the mind of the customer, like, okay, oh shoot, like you can't ignore you, you know, without getting annoying. That's why I'm saying like it needs to be that right balance to not be bananas, because then if not, they'll start reporting your ad, and you don't want people reporting your ad, because then Facebook flags you or whatever else, you know.
Okay, all right, so that's good to know. Okay, so then I think then I finally get it. I mean, this has been, you know, this information is nowhere. I mean, it's crazy.
I know, it is crazy, man. Because like the first time I saw this information was in the book .com Secrets, but it didn't explain it like this. It explained it just like very like abstract, like saying like there's problem aware, solution aware, like product aware, and like most aware. So he just told you about like the awareness levels and how you need to build like a bridge depending on what awareness level they're in. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, actually, here, let me take the screen. Let me just show you something.
Sure.
Give me a second. Let me just find it. Because this is where I started on the like, oh, okay, like.
But how did you figure this out? Like, just from trial and error, or?
Mix. Definitely some trial and error, because some things like I didn't even get until I started just losing money or making money on certain things, where I was like, oh, like, you know, just learn by like failure and success type of thing. But I would say another piece was just, you know, paying some of my coaches and some of my mentors, that they kind of gave me a little deeper dive on their process. And I started seeing like, oh, it's interesting how like, you know, people, you know, some of these people have the same type of journey, you know, in one way or another. It's the same type of journey. So give me a second. I'm trying to see where my funnel, there it is. This one.
You know, it's interesting because like when I was working with my last marketer, he was always pushing, you know, don't worry about the technical end, just understand the higher level. That, I mean, as a technical person, like that makes zero sense to me, right? Because
you need both, man. You need the balance, both. You know.
You need both, and
yeah, you need the art and the science. You need both, you know. Like if you just go too much on the art, then you'll miss all the tech. If you go too on the tech, you'll be super square and like rigid. That, you know, no one will wanna. Yeah, no one will wanna buy or like, you know, learn to trust you. So this was the first thing that I saw where I was like, okay, I think I'm starting to understand this a little bit, but it's still very abstract, very, very abstract. This was like over 2 years ago. Where again, like we talked about the warm temperatures, right? Or sorry, the traffic temperatures, hot, warm, and cold. And this is the stage that we literally went through today. But at the time, he just called it a pre-frame bridge. I'm like, what the heck is a pre-frame bridge? Like, that's so abstract to me.
Right.
And he was saying basically that the hotter the temperature, the smaller the bridge. The colder the temperature, the longer the bridge. I was like, what the heck? Like, again, like, what does that even mean, right? Until like I started breaking it down into, okay, well, if they understand the problem now, then I guess it's easier for them to take this next step, or if they've already been with me for like all this long, like then it's easy to just send them like a discount, or like a very like, hey, this free plus shipping, go buy it right now, because they just get it already. And so you start playing with that. But it really took me to understand these phases of a funnel, where it really does start here with your bridges, your email, your all these different things,
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's just totally too abstract, but I get it.
Yeah, and I'll show you. Like this second one. This one was the one I was talking about. Right. So this was a chart inside the book, and I'm like, man, like that's so interesting. Like an unaware, problem aware, solution aware, similar to that pyramid one we saw from Todd Brown.
Wait, are you? I still see the same.
Oh, do you? Okay, hold on. Nice, because I just gotta select desktop. Yeah. Tell me when you're.
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. Yeah. So remember that triangle we saw from Todd Brown that was representing those awareness levels? The first time I saw it was not with Todd Brown, was with Russell Brunson on .com Secrets. And he mapped it out like this: cold, warm, hot, da 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 da. And then with the other like bridge I showed you. And so like it was all like abstract, and like I could kind of like get it like in an abstract way, but it was just hard. Like, where does everything fit? Your different front and back end funnels, your continuity, and like, all these different like, scripts and things. Like, for a long time I've been like, like just memorizing them and whatnot. But it didn't become alive until I started actually spending the money and actually like going through my own maps and being like, I have no clue what content to put here. So yeah, it's definitely taken like, that's why I said a mix, between, a lot of abstract knowledge and also just like doing and failing.
Interesting. Okay. So at least I'm not alone, because, I have a couple of people that I'm also kind of working with, alongside. I told you, like, I belong to it's not a big group, but there's a bunch of us who are like the entrepreneurial type.
No, that's awesome.
And, it's crazy. Everybody's hitting the same exact issue where it's like, oh, Facebook isn't working. And I'm like, well, it's not working because it's all sorts of stuff that you need to know. And it's just incredible. I mean, how much it makes my engineering degree look as though I was like drawing with chalk. Because engineering is a very hard science, it's black or it's white, and this is not.
No, I know. And that's why you need both the marketing aspect and the sales aspect.
Right.
And especially like, how we talked that about the whole concept of the dying ads, and how every ad, depending on your audience seed and also depending on how good it is, will have a certain shelf life. Right. So this, like, having that in mind, I love this 23 building blocks of a funnel, because sometimes you just need to refresh the block. Like, let's say that you are getting them right now through email, specifically with a just your squeeze page, your PDF, right? But tomorrow, for some reason, it stops working, and now you come up with a quiz that says, how much do you know about electronics? And it's just like a little quiz, and then at the end you give them the result with something. So your pre-frame bridge block will always be your pre-frame bridge block, but the sub blocks that make up that pre-frame bridge can change from a video to an email to a pre-sales page to a quiz to an article to news. Like you can really just like,
I guess as long as you have the infrastructure up, it doesn't, you can change the underneath.
Exactly. So there's almost like 3 layers, right? Like what's happening with the customer up here, the sub blocks, and then your actual creatives and retargetings and kind of like the depth that we just went to through Facebook funnel.
Right.
And yeah, and so that's why just keeping this in mind, like sometimes it's not that you have even the wrong messaging. Sometimes just people don't want to consume the information that way. They rather see a webinar, and I'm trying so hard for them to read this like 25-page like document, and they're like, we don't want the document.
Right.
Send us a freaking video. It's so much easier to consume, right? And you might be stuck, and you might say, oh, like nothing worked, and you shut down your whole company. It was like, no, you just needed to change the blog.
Right.
You just needed
Right.
to change the blog, and I've seen it with people that like I've touched base, they were working on their funnel and stuff, and then next thing I talk to them, they're like, oh yeah, you know what, I like shut that off, and like I'm like trying to do like Amazon now. I'm like, bro, why did you switch like opportunity? Like you have the shiny object syndrome. It wasn't that you didn't have the right business model of this, you just had the wrong like block or the wrong temperature of traffic and all that. So yeah, like there's definitely multiple pieces, and that's why I think the easiest way is always just to like get someone that's already done a lot of those mistakes and just kind of reinvent and adapt to your style.
Yeah, totally. I think just maybe real quick, the last thing
grab the screen.
Oh no, I don't need to. This is probably too big of a topic for this call, so maybe we can dive into this next week. But what I'm beginning to see now is because I'm using lookalikes as my top level to get these people. What I'm seeing is these people are like green as green can be. They don't even know about Arduino, right?
Interesting.
And that's not.
I need to start even.
Yeah, that's not the person that I want. I want one level deeper. And last week, this was really scary, actually. I had this one guy, he bought 10 units. And I was I was like, holy crap, what are you doing with 10 units? So I called the guy. And I was like, oh, I just wanted to thank you, blah, blah, what are you doing with it? And he started to ask me questions, which I almost gave him his money back, because I'm like, I don't think that this is going to be.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was he saying? What did he get it for?
Well, he was asking some questions like, well, can it do AI, like artificial intelligence? And like, no, Arduino cannot do artificial intelligence. I mean, and that's a pretty...
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he's like, oh, can I hook it up to my car? I'm going, I guess you can hook it up to your car, but it's not really, this...
For that, yeah.
Yeah, it was really kind of scary. I'm like, these are not the people that I want. So maybe what we can do is, and maybe the next session is to really drill down into doing some more like market research and finding the right person. Yeah,
because it's all to do with, again, like the language you're using and some of the targeting you're using too, because I mean, let's also be fair to say that there are people out there that even though they they belong to that pool of people that don't have a use for it, but they don't read properly, or they just assume a lot of things in their head, even though it's clearly stated what it does or doesn't do, and they still buy. And those are the guys that like you need to just individually address or whatever. But I think that to your point, we should come back to this conversation and drill deeper on how to exactly attract that exact person that you want. And we might need to go into an empathy map, so we really can map out like, what does a life in the day look like of this person? Like, what do they see, what do they hear, like what's happening in their day, kind of thing, like an average day in the life of this like perfect ideal avatar,
right.
Wow, that's very interesting, man. Like that's kind of happening, because then now Facebook only has certain data, right, to like jump to these assumptions when it starts expanding to lookalike audience.
Exactly. And what's interesting is like this morning, and you have to have a thick skin when it comes to your ads and stuff.
Yes, you do.
But this morning, every once in a while you get one that just gets underneath your skin.
Yes, that is like above the,
Yeah.
Totally.
So I one of the ads where I'm like running a video. It's a video which you saw, where like explains what the hell the thing is.
Right.
And he just writes in the bottom, so obnoxious. And he's like, I just have one question. And then all in caps, he writes, what the hell is it? And I'm like, oh my God. I deleted his comment because he's just not the right customer.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But so, yeah, I really need to drill. And I have a couple of ideas as far as like who I want to drill at. I have an Excel spreadsheet for that. But it would just be awesome to be able to work with you and like into insights and really drill down and figure that out.
Yeah, totally. Because to the degree of the quality of your seed audience, to the degree that you'll be able to expand. And yeah, totally with you that if you don't want certain people, you got to put like that's why the whole concept of a funnel is genius, like simple but genius. Like you're putting filters so that you actually get the people that you want throughout this journey. Like if that, like that's why, like if you are not the type, like I won't even send you to the sales page. I would be doing you a disservice.
Exactly.
Tell you to send you to the sales page if you don't even understand or if it's not the right fit. I actually I'm about to work with a new customer, a new guy that actually an old friend of mine, and he wants to do some coaching. He wants to start a rental company, like a car rental company in Halifax, like from scratch. So he wants like like everything, like kind of like, you know, make me his, you know, go-to to, you know, kind of help him put the structures in place and whatnot. So, but I told him, you know what, I said, obviously this project it's a big project. Like it's not just, you know, one little strategy that you need, right? And so I said, you know what, before I can even quote you on anything or do anything, like I would be doing you a disservice actually if I don't really understand with clarity what exactly do you want, and not just in business but in some of the other areas of his life. Because when he talked to me, he was talking about, you know, going through some bad stuff with his wife and some, you know, stuff with his kids and his partner, and I'm like, okay, like obviously they all have to be intrinsically connected for it to work. So I told them, you know what, take these 2 exercises. I sent them actually the link that I sent you by accident in the conversation. That's basically the link I sent them that has this very key 3 exercises that I found give you a ton of clarity in just identifying where you're at right now in each of the 7 areas of your life, like spiritual, career, personal, finance, that are like, you know, it's a whole breakdown. And I want him to send me that first, because if I don't like vibe with it, or I don't think we're aligned, I will tell him, like, I don't think this is for you. And that is one of the highest levels of service, the preeminence strategy, where you're really putting them first, like even if that means losing the sale because not the right fit.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I had a guy actually on one of my ads last week. Somebody was asking a very newbie kind of question. He was going to buy my kit because he thought he could do XYZ with it. And I dug a little deeper into what he was asking, and it was clear that like he was not my customer. So I told him, I was like, man, I'm not the right person for you, but there's this other company and they're exactly what you want. And wow, what came out of that, I just wasn't expecting. I had so many people comment. They were like, you know, oh my God, a person with integrity, that's crazy. I was like, oh, I didn't think any of that was going to happen.
Amazing, man. Yeah, no, I perceived that from the moment you know, spoke in that table at the event where we were having that, you know, the private lunch or whatever with them, and, you know, you share some stuff. Like I knew you had that integrity, and that's why I said yes to like working with you, because I'm not going to teach some of this powerful stuff, you know, to someone that wants to just manipulate people into just getting some money, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I tell my kids, the ones that I teach, that when I first started teaching, I said, look, what I'm about to teach you is superpowers. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, you don't understand what I'm about to teach you. You could do an immense amount of good or an immense amount of bad. And I will not teach you if you go down the bad route. Because, you know, like you can make all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, you can make bombs and everything else with what all these techniques, right? But I don't want you to do that. I want you to go and, you know, build stuff that helps, you know, society.
Exactly.
So I totally get that.
Cool, man. Yeah. No, I would love to do that. Maybe just to, you know, get the ball rolling on that.
Sure.
You know, write in a little document or just a PDF how you've been doing it. Just some key points of that avatar, maybe the areas where you might want to, you know, drill a little bit deeper, and I can kind of get a feel for it and prepare for our next session.
Totally. Yep, I can do that. No problem.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Andres.
Thank you, brother. Great session.
All right. Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.